straight from his home in Baltimore, Maryland. It ain't quite live, but it's right on time. It's the Mr. Lewis Weekly Update with your host, Mr. Lewis.
Well, hello there, and welcome to week 4 of the Mr. Lewis Weekly Update. Reminder for all my students, don't forget virtual classes are on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Please come, we'll talk about content, your feelings, whatever you want. Don't leave me like this. A reminder that work is due by 11:59 on Friday. We have a great show for you this week, so let's get down to it and head to the big board.
You'll see everything. You'll see the big board.
That is precisely the idea, General.
We are at the big board, and that brings us to our first segment. Take it away, General Andi.
Bringing you some good news for a better mood. Here's a little bit of happiness.
That's right, folks. It's time for a little bit of happiness. On a Sunday like today, where the sun is not shining, it's rainy, it's gloomy, it's important to try to see that light at the end of the tunnel. Our first little bit of happiness comes from Baltimore. If you're a fan of live concerts, live entertainment, and the films of John Waters, this first one has it for you. Take it away.
Good morning, Baltimore. Every day's like an open door. Every night is a fantasy. Every sound's like a symphony. Good morning, Baltimore. And someday when I take to the floor, the world's gonna wake up and see Baltimore and me.
How I love Tracy Turnblad. Keeping with the upbeat musical numbers, this next one comes all the way from Ireland. A small community in Southern Ireland dressed up and sang ABBA's Mamma Mia to cheer up a senior resident, 91-year-old mother, Mary O'Brien. Lancha. As many of you know, I'm a historian and a history teacher by nature. So this next little bit of happiness really brightens up my day. April 25th is Liberation Day in Italy, a national holiday commemorating the end of Nazi Germany's occupation during World War II in Europe. And it also marks the victory of the Italian resistance. Watch as citizens celebrate this holiday from their balconies in quarantine, but at the same time come together in spirit.
Mi sono svegliato. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire.
Our last little bit of happiness for this episode is about a 4-year-old boy named Archie who not only beat COVID, but he also kicked cancer's ass all in the same day. Applause for our man and our warrior, Archie. Well, that ends this week's little bit of happiness. I hope it brightened up your day. I know it brightened up mine.
To keep you abreast of what's relevant, let's get to poppin' fresh with professionals.
We're going to let Andi Witherow now, a dear friend of mine from Southern Maryland, take it away. She is not only a tattoo artist, but a found object artist as well. Some of you have maybe even seen her work when I wear short sleeves or roll these puppies. Take it away.
Hi everybody, I'm Andi. I've been tattooing for about 26 years now, and I was contacted by good old Mr. Lewis, a dear friend of mine, to help him out with showing you guys around my art shed. How's everybody doing on this rainy night? Show you guys where you are. I'm in my shed here. It's I think it's 12 by 14 foot space, and I've been able to fit a lot of stuff in here. Let me show you around. I'm up to the rafters up there. Got all kinds of goodies in here. I'm a tattoo artist, but I'm also a found object artist, and that means I can pretty much make art out of anything. Let me show you this. That is a plaster fried egg that I made some time ago. I've always got projects over here on the on the workbench. Here's a cow skull I bought at the thrift store. It had some kind of weird powder blue paint job on it, and it was a little odd. All kinds of little shadow box stuff. I can't resist old bottles. I live in Calvert County in southern Maryland, pretty close to the bay, and we find a lot of old bottles and stuff around here. Trying not to get myself too much just yet. Here's some little feathers I've been working on. There's another one over here. Anyway, my point is you can pretty much find something to do with just about anything. Grew some gourds this year and have been painting those things. Let's see, here's one of the gourds. I haven't quite figured out if I want to give it to the grandkids as a maraca or trying to make a tiny birdhouse. Not sure. I'm pretty sure this one's going to be a Mario mushroom birdhouse of some sort. I'll figure it out. This is, I've got it kind of taken apart. It's one of my tattoo machine doorbells that I've been able to rig up. I put a battery there. You push the button, it rings the bell. I have another one I'll show you in a second. Since we've been quarantined, my need to create has never been more evident. I've been, just ideas going crazy. And I think it finally dawned on me. It's the freedom to be able to make whatever the heck I want. I've been tattooing for 26 years, and it keeps you in a very tight little box as to what you're able to do creativity-wise. So I've decided to pull out some junk, paint some things for people. This is an old wine box, and it's very much like tattooing, so it's keeping me on my toes. This is the little transfer that I used to get the drawing onto the box. Traced it with some kind of tracing paper stuff that I have. Printed off my reference picture, just like I would do if I was doing a tattoo, and used some of my tiniest little brushes. There's my little happy friend my grandson made. So yeah, it's a lot like tattooing. I kind of work it in there. The wood has some texture to it. It's a lot like skin. So was able to sell that to a good friend of mine for his wife's birthday. This little cigar box. This is going to be on its way to Florida. And same way, I just put a little stencil on there, and it was so much like tattooing. So it's been keeping me busy. Here's another little feather that's going to be on its way to a customer. And here is the tattoo machine doorbell that I was showing you one over there that didn't have the battery, so pretty obnoxious. So I used an old tattoo machine, rigged it up with some wiring, makes it strike the bell. So there are a couple of programs that I use on my iPad. The iPad has been a really good tool for allowing my customers to send me reference pictures, ideas, photos of an existing tattoo that they might want to get covered up. So we use the iPad to receive this information from our customers, and then we're able to upload it into one of the programs that we use. And the one that I like to use is called Procreate. So if you're wondering, the name of the app is Procreate. And you can upload, I'll show you how it works for helping me with cover-ups. This lady had an existing lower back tattoo, and she described what she wanted. She really didn't want it to be just smack dab in the middle of her back anymore. She wanted more of a flow down one hip and up one side. So I've been able to put it together for her. This was one of the last tattoos I worked on before our lovely shutdown. So here's the existing tattoo, well, was existing, and you can bring up the opacity. You can take that back down. So before I draw the cover up, I like to back it down, and I was able to place all kinds of flower pictures where I thought they should go, and this was very helpful in showing me where the darks and the lights were, where the dark parts of the new tattoo and everything needed to be, so it didn't look like, oh, cover up. So she was extremely happy. I don't have a picture of the finished piece yet because we were only able to get the outline done. It was super huge, and she was such a trooper. So stay tuned. Oh, if anyone would like to follow my Instagram, this is where you'll be able to see a lot of the different projects that I do with my art junk and tattoos. So this is probably backwards. I don't understand all of this technology stuff, so sorry. One that I like is called Amaziograph. And this one, well, I just realized this is probably all going to be backwards for you guys. Amaziograph. This allows you to, helps you draw things symmetrically. Symmetrical. That's pretty cool, huh? So my favorite tool on Amaziograph, let me back down the size of that pen a little bit. This one allows you to draw beautiful mandalas. So those are just a few of the programs that I use to help me get tattoo designs ready. I just wanted to let you guys know that you don't have to be the best. You just have to create. You just have to make it your own, whether you sing or dance or play music. Just enjoy yourself and be yourself, and, you know, don't care what people say. Do your thing. Everybody stay safe. And this was kind of fun, kind of nerve-wracking since I'm not really a camera person, but it was fun to share with you guys. I remember being in school, and we didn't have a lot of cool teachers, so I'm really glad that you guys are blessed with Mr. Lewis. Take care, everybody.
I feel pretty.
This is a piece of Andi's artwork that I have in my personal collection. It has an octopus on it, which is perfect because she works at a tattoo parlor called Red Octopus, and I also have a tattoo on my leg of a red octopus. Andi's aunt owns and operates Red Octopus, and they have currently put out a coloring book for this pandemic that you can download for free from the following link. You can also find the link in the description box on YouTube.
Real quick, folks. If you're thinking about getting a tattoo, make sure you do research into the establishment. Make sure they're cleaned and licensed. However, Maryland does not require licensing in the state for tattooing. So that means anybody can get a machine and tattoo. Get tattooed by a professional, not some friend or some friend's uncle. Take the time, spend the money. If you also think about your tattoo for a period of time. Wait till you're 18. What you like when you're 16, 17 will not be something you like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, most likely. I have a lot of friends who have tattoos they regret and that are scarred and don't look good. So take the time, do your research.
Andy, I can't thank you enough for doing that. Hope you and your family stay safe, and I'm sure your grandkids will love that rattle. This is getting cold, so I better go fill it up with a new one. It's time for a...
Nothing like a look back at what used to be, so here's a flashback to this day in history.
This Day in History, April 26, 1886, is presented by Professor Michelle Scott of UMBC, a historian of 20th century United States history, African American history, women's history, black musical culture, and civil rights.
Born on April 26, 1886, Gertrude Pritchard Ma Rainey was known as the Mother of the Blues. She had an early ability to connect and influence performers after her, but she was also known as the Mother because she was one of the first women to publicly perform the style in 1902. Blues music talks about love, journey, travel, sorrow, and was originally performed by African Americans in the Mississippi Delta. Ma Rainey is the bridge between male solo guitar performers in country blues music and more women-performed blues on stage, or the classic blues. The power of Rainey's voice and her elaborate costumes led viewers to comment that, quote, she was all show business was supposed to be. She made the listener visualize her songs like in C.C. Ryder, Backwater Blues, and Yonder Come the Blues, which you hear playing now. Happy birthday, Ma Rainey, Mother of the Blues.
So let's check out this week's open letter.
But first, let's see what's in the box.
What's in the box?
It's boo-boo cream! There's no historical record of when antibacterial ointment was created, but it was patented in the U.S. in 1951. So, dear antibacterial ointment, I used you for many years as a chef for cutting my finger like I did last night cooking dinner. And you have saved me from many, many, many bad infections. So antibacterial cream, or as I like to call it, boo-boo cream, thank you for all you do. Well, folks, that does it for this week. I want to thank our special guests, Andi Witherow, for popping fresh with us, and Dr. Scott for this day in history. Don't forget to wash your hands and be like, stay safe, stay smart, stay stellar. I'm going to go get some more coffee now.
It's you and me. We have Dolores on her knees. We've been laying here while we watch the clouds go by the trees. We are free. And yeah, it's kinda strange. We humans treat the earth this way. Sell our souls to profiteers while they're poisoning the atmosphere like it was free. But have you heard that news? The ocean's eating San Francisco too. The sun is burning out. Creatures crawling green man.
That's all, kid.